explain to everybody why we're doing this. Why we're tabling and shortening everything.
Because at 7 o'clock tonight, the governor's gonna have a EMA meeting with all the mayors to try to tell you what you can do for funds and what the plan is for this area and things like that. And it's only open to mayors and from in the cities that were hit. And I'm trying to get to that. I'm sorry. We got people we need to hear from too, and that's something that's pressing.
Can't Mayor Pro Tem handle the meeting?
Again, y'all want to?
Yeah.
But, all right, well, let's go through the department head report. All right. Under administration. All right, go ahead and do it. On Wednesday, Leeds was hit by 90 mile, 85 to 90 after 85 to 90 mile an hour winds. The areas Cobble Hills, Russell Heights, Lane Drive, Palmer, and City Park were all hit especially hard. We had close to 40 roads blocked, some in multiple locations. At 11:15, we declared a state of emergency. In that state of emergency, we voted to hire independent contractors and work overtime for city employees. In a joint effort between the city workers, independent contractors, and the Leeds Waterworks Board, every road in Leeds, except for one I found out about later that was over off of 25 somewhere, we thought every road in Leeds, was cleared in less than 24 hours. Our city crew worked so hard the first day, close to 14 hours, they didn't even eat until 5 o'clock and only had 25 minutes to eat. George worked even later, and I think Mo worked late too, didn't he? And they did a superior job of organization. David Coyne, City Hall contacted FEMA, EMA, and the Red Cross and got instructions, and we were prepared in that area. Fire police had double shifts on, extra people called in and on duty. Fire department, I think, loaned out, 7 people over 2 days to hunt for bodies and survivors. So Chuck Parsons, he went out, he the first day and did that. Civic Center was set up with cots, water. People came in, took showers. We didn't have anybody spend the night, but they were ready to go if we had to do that. So the Civic Center workers stayed over late for that. David secured a portable internet device. It was a satellite that actually gave us internet that was portable so we could communicate with people. That was the second day. They couldn't come out the first day because FEMA wasn't here yet. St. Clair County Dispatch and the group of ham operators worked out of City Hall for 2 days. Frank Spencer helped assemble secure independent contractors within 2 hours of our needs. You know, I don't know where to start on all the people that did something for the city. I mean, David, Frank, Grady, Allen, Chuck, Jeff Lover, George and Mo, all the city workers. The Waterworks Board worked 2 days solid, helping clean it, clear the roads. I mean, they got out there and they busted their tails too. So, you know, we had a joint effort from everybody, citizens help. I know a group of 50 to 60, that's what I was told how many there were. Baseball parents helped clear the park out here, and our workers picked them up. Linda, I mean, everybody just came through. It's could have been a lot worse. At the time, we didn't know how bad it was when all the roads were blocked. You couldn't tell. I mean, it was very, I guess it was not very major compared to the later events of the day, but the organization was incredible. So everybody that did a good job, I want to thank y'all. I know that Ricky and Jonathan rode around, helped assess situations, helped find trees, helped do things like that. We didn't have any overlap. These guys knocked it out. I mean, they did a great job. So I just want to say thanks on that. And, you know, we just know we're prepared. So, I mean, we know the people we got are prepared. So, any of the council coming in, voting, trying to get in here, I mean, on short notice. I mean, the people of Leeds ought to feel good about what went down, and how lucky we really were after it was all said and done. I mean, people without power for a long time, but Leeds got clobbered power-wise. I mean, it was, the power company told us one of the worst hit areas as far as power poles and power lines. And, we lost some houses, caught trees, but overall, we came out pretty good. And, you know, I think we ought to all be thankful for that, especially when you see some of these other areas. So I want to say thanks to all y'all. And, also, I wanted to say that, Judge Smallwood, the man who, swore us all in when we were all elected the last time, died Friday. And just to let y'all know that he passed away. And he's a good guy, and he, y'all remember when he came and swore everybody in, and a well-known judge. All right, that's all I've got. City schools won't be doing it tonight, will it?
Here.
All right, Fire Chief Pierce.
Mayor, I was just gonna let you know, some of the communities that we went to, we got a call about 2 o'clock from the EMA, Emergency Operations Center, asking for assistance, and we sent a crew, to Fultondale and North Smithfield to do search and rescue. That crew also shifted over to McDonald's Chapel and Midan, and then we got a second request, and we sent another crew to Pleasant Grove. They all met over there with some recovery efforts over there. We assisted Moody Fire with an incident. We had about 7 or 8 people out working that area as well, and of course we maintain home here too. So, but I'm real proud of our guys. They did an excellent job.
I am too. You did a great job.
That's all I have.
Appreciate it, Alan. Inspector Nichols.
No report, sir.
Library Director Williams. Park and Rec Supervisor Keaton.
Despite the weather, the creek bank went off pretty good. Had a very good turnout. Also had a soccer tournament Saturday, or round robin, whatever you want to call it. From when Thompson came, Moody, Irondale, and Leeds all participated. Had a good showing.
Awesome turnout. Yeah. And on top of all the work the city workers did, they worked 14 hours one day and about 12 hours the next. Then they went over and worked creek bank. And also, I can't say enough about what y'all did, George. Thanks. Police Department Chief Collier.
Mayor, the only thing, just touch on a little bit of what you said about the storm. You know, we lost power, as most people in the league did. We were on a generator until Saturday afternoon. That functioned fairly well for what we had, but we were also operating as the Peace Out for Public Safety answering point, 911, for all of St. Clair County, as their 911 center went down due to damage. So that's the first time we've ever had to put our second seat is designed to pick them up if they have a problem, where they're our backup. And we have had to use them in the past once or twice, but it worked fairly flawlessly. So I'm glad we were able to assist in that area.
I did a good job. Street Sanitation Director Keaton.
I think you set it up, sir.
How did things go today?
Still working at it. Getting certain sections of the city and going from there to the hardest hit, trying to get it cleaned up first.
Okay. Council Committee for Finance Chairperson.
No.
Fire Chair, I don't know, report. Library and Education.
No report.
Park and Rec.
No.
Police, no report. Streets and Inspection.
Yeah, well, I'd just like to say, I want to thank everyone for all the hard work they did, as far as coming around in the communities. The churches, Cedar Grove Church, they really fed everyone in the community. turn them away, but I wanted them to be able to help someone else who was in need first, other than me and my family. Because I really did appreciate it. It was very thoughtful for us, you know, even for the person who wanted to loan me their Winnebago and the generator, but I just felt like the rest of the community was suffering without the lights and everything. I should be like they're suffering along with the community as well. It wouldn't look like, it wouldn't have been the right thing. We as council members and leaders of the community should suffer with our community so we can understand what's going on with them. But I want everyone to know that I really appreciate the fire department, the street department, and everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman White. So, it really was something to watch how fast they were working with.
Yeah. Especially after I went to Pratt City Sunday morning, and I seen how the devastation in those areas. And I mean, I had some friends that really lost their lives in it. You know, it's a touching thing to realize that Leeds was still blessed. I couldn't even see a leaf on the tree. I remember a police station that was there. It swept from, it seemed like it wasn't never there. But Leeds was still blessed, even though it devastated the way it was. We were still blessed. So I just want to say, you know, we just got to keep praying in Leeds and keep working together. That's what's going to get us through some other things. It's not that the Lord missed us because we've been so good. I'll tell you that now. But, you know, He is a good God, and I realize that every day.
Appreciate that, Ken. Let's see. Okay, under, new business, push the, so we have a motion to put storm damage bids up to the top. That's that, it's supposed to say storm damage bids.
Oh, it says storm damage update.
Yeah, we already did that. It goes along together. It goes together.
Then I'll make a motion that we correct the agenda so that it says item C, storm damage, bids. Need a second?
Second.
Okay, I need to revise my motion, to change update to bids and move it to the top of the, order.
Second. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? All right. You, Mr. Kyle, had one you want to add to.
Appointment of the school board member.
I'll second that.
Any discussion? All those in favor of adding the school board appointment as item D, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say no. All right. School board. Okay. All right. All the storm damage bids, the problem we've ran into now is it could be perceived that we're no longer in an emergency. And in the beginning, when we were cleaning up roads and we were, getting people able to get out of their houses and making the streets safe and for, you know, ambulances and fire trucks and police cars and things like that, we could bid it, do it like we did. Alright, well now, it came, back to us that we can't do it that way now, so now we're at just cleanup, debris cleanup. And, there's a couple of different issues. We asked for bids today, and we got we got one really good bid, but we needed 3. And, we're not sure, if it was bid right, and especially because only 2. So it's possible the Mayor's Association is talking to, the Corps of Engineers. Okay, the Corps of Engineers said they will come in here and fill out our paperwork, clean up the city. However, you're dealing with the federal government, and you're dealing with their timeline. They could have 50 trucks here in the next 2 days, or it might be three weeks. The worse you probably are, the earlier they get to you, the better, the more, the later they get to you, which might mean a couple of weeks for us. In the meantime, if we decide to go that route, if that's what works out, because that's still in discussion with the federal government, we would lose our independent contractors, because right now, there's so much work to release our independent contractors, we won't be able to get them back. And so we'd have to depend on the city crew with 2 trucks to pick up this whole city the way it looks right now. The other thing that we could do is rebid it, send it out to everybody on the bid list with a prospectus. We only give them a half a day to come in, because we're trying to keep the trucks moving. And give them, what kind of time frame you think we should give them, 48 hours? 48 hours. And if we do that, and FEMA approves how we do it, we would have to pay 25% of what they did. Okay? Y'all got the bid in front of you, I'd rather not, say it if they're going to rebid it. Was that read out? No? It was read, so I can talk about it. The excellent bid. I mean, the guys were giving us a backhoe, a loader, they're like 7 pieces of heavy equipment, 2 or 3 trucks, 3 men from chainsaw, all that kind of stuff. For 100 hours, and that doesn't mean like 10 hours on each man, that's 100 hours all the way through for everybody that's working for them. And it was 48,000. Okay. So we can get FEMA to approve that, 25% of that would be 46,000. But our attorneys feel like we need to rebid that, give everybody a chance, get longer and give everybody on the list a chance, but we only sent it to like 4. 2 picked it up, and that's all we got. To me, I would rather go with what I got in hand. If we got the money, pay 25%, than to let all our contractors go to other jobs and take a chance on our city crew having to pick up the city and right now. If that happens, you may be talking a year.
I think we can look at this like you're saying. It's because, we probably FEMA money's gonna come in and get the biggest part of it. And,
Right.
we're understaffed anyway, and we're not gonna be able to do all this. We worked over the weekend, their trees out there on the side of the road, it's twice as big as that podium.
Oh, I
We're
understand.
not gonna be able to handle that. We gotta get somebody here that's experienced doing that.
Right.
And like you said, the government, they're gonna be in touch with us and everywhere else.
We're rolling the dice. That's what we're doing. But the Mayor's Association, they want to try to go with FEMA because, it's not going to cost them. But if you're totally wiped out,
What do you need?
you're probably getting them first because if you're like us, you never know when you're going to come.
Our bid process.
So we need to make a motion?
To rebid?
We need to make a motion to rebid. That's what you're
Okay.
going to do with a 48-hour turnaround.
All right,
Are you saying we could make a motion to accept this low bid?
No.
Okay, we
He feels
cannot.
like it's not
We
enough.
can provide the request to everybody on our list, and that's got to be done.
Okay, so I make a motion that we rebid with a 48-hour time limit for their response,
Seconds.
Starting at 8 in the morning.
starting at 8.
8 o'clock in the
And then
morning,
you
they
can
can
call
pick their
special
bids.
call.
Oh, yeah, 48 hours from 8 o'clock tomorrow.
And we have to
Does that
have a
make
special
sense?
call meeting
To
to
accept
accept
the
it.
bid.
Okay,
2 days. As long as we got 4.
48 hours from 8 o'clock tomorrow, right? That's what you're telling me.
That'd be fine.
Because I can't pick them up tonight.
No. Or can you have it ready by the morning of the
We've got it already, we just have to read.
48 hours, they're due in 48 hours from 8 o'clock tomorrow morning, 8 a.m. Had a second.
favor of doing that, say aye.
Aye.
Alright, got one more issue. We got the crew out there now that's knocking it out pretty good. Y'all want them to just come off of that for a day, or do y'all want to just pay them for a day out of general fund? What y'all want to do?
You know, if you're gonna wait 48 hours, somebody's gonna come in here, I don't think we need to waste the money, let them go ahead and hit it once we're gonna get out there.
They can go ahead.
Just cut it loose and let whoever wins the bid take it. We're not looking, I mean, you're looking 48 hours and we're essentially 5 days into this, so it's not like it's been sitting out here for 2 or 3 weeks.
Well, I understand that, I just don't know how,
It's gonna take care of getting all stumps and stuff as well.
stuff in what way,
Getting up all those stumps on the side of the road.
like, the people aren't cutting, or the people are cutting? The people are or aren't cutting?
No, in this proposal, we talking about getting the stumps up.
Not stop, there's no grinding in here,
Big
so.
plant,
No,
This is just hauling.
it's just home.
this
So those
is
big-
just hauling and, making it manageable and, there's no stuff grinding on people's property.
So, the landfill can't hold the stumps, and we get them over there.
If we get the stuff cut, I mean, if the people cut, like,
If the stump's there, they'll pick it
I
up.
mean, if you got a stump on your land, and you cut it off and lay it on the side of the road, we'll take it. But if you got a stump on your side of the road where you cut it off and just left a big old stump, we won't be out there cutting stumps for people. I mean, they gotta cut their stuff
Because
down.
I know when we was talking about this, that we, instead of 5 foot, that we were talking about, we went to 15.
I think we ended up saying 10. Remember that? We voted on 10.
So, we went on to 15.
No, I think they were 10. Because, some people got a 5, and some people have 15, some people got a 20. And don't you remember, we said, well, let's just say 10 to be on the safe side. And I, what's the,
People
We
know that.
weren't here last night.
I mean, what,
I didn't hear any of that stuff.
just it was 10. We said we'd go back 10 feet to help people out.
Oh, yes, I know what you're talking about, yes,
Yeah.
10 feet, yeah, the easement.
Just so, because we'd be over on some people's, under on some people's, but we can't get somebody out there with a map to see what everybody's is. So we were gonna try, if we kept these independent crews, we're gonna keep trying to do it that way. One problem that we're having that's, Aldott called today, they weren't very happy. In fact, they said, the first thing we got to do is go over there and get the sticks out of people, out of the drainage ditches, because it's fixing to start raining. And they said if it floods, they're not gonna be happy at all about it. I said that people are throwing their, stuff in the ditches. And so, now people got to quit doing that.
Why don't you take that crew you got out there tomorrow and send them to clean that up? Work on that.
It's rain on that night.
Now, you can work the rain, they got rain
I
covers.
mean, but Aldott's, very, unhappy. They said, y'all we're putting that on the city to get that done now.
Just leave that,
People got to quit throwing their stuff in the ditches.
leave that bunch out there and let them work on that. You get this up.
That's what he was asking, do we want to vote to keep that bunch on?
For one more day.
Do that.
For at least
The reason
one
I
more
say
day.
that, and I'm not being smart, but I live next to old middle school, I saw a crew over there working, and they worked on a tree over half the day. They were still working on it when I left, and it was laying down on the ground. We took the sticks off of people's houses. And, and they need to, somebody needs to prod them a little bit if they on the hourly rate.
They're working, the reason they're at the middle school is because, I sent them over there because, the trees are so big that's on the middle school property, just like the trees over here, that our equipment really can't handle that size of tree. And eventually, if we do lose our independent contractors, we wouldn't have anybody really to pick them up, we'd have to hire somebody to go do it. So that's why we did that, sent them over there to get those trees up.
So you gonna make a motion to keep them on for one more day?
Yeah, to work over there on where out, let them clean the ditches out.
Okay, I'll second that.
All right?
Alright, any discussion? keeping, Pro Hall, who's doing the work for us, that's helping the city, just one more day till the bids come back. Say aye. Aye, okay. All right.
Who's responsible for the trees that are down in the right of way at the exit going out going east? There are a lot of trees down in that area, right before the bridge.
Going towards Moody.
Going towards Moody, but if you,
I'm-
it's on this side though.
On our side,
Mm-hmm.
there's three.
It's in the right of way, between the exit and bridge.
We cut that,
State, and feds cut the off ramp.
cause they have done some things in the past where some cities will have to take that area.
So the biggest problem you get into with all this stuff is time. It's time such an unknown factor. It's sort of like when you get the state says we're gonna come fix that pothole in the middle of Highway 78. And it might be tomorrow, it might be 7 months.
Well, they're not an eyesore as of yet. When the tree becomes a dead tree, petrifying out there will be an eyesore.
Well, I understand, I know what you're talking about, but I'd rather see our streets cleaned up first, because you got kids
Oh, no,
playing,
that's why I was asking
playing around
who's
this stuff
responsible for that.
and just darting out traffic. I mean, there was kids playing on trees, and their parents let them play on them, with lines around.
Oh, I agree. All right. Where's the legal?
The annexation is
Oh, all right. Annexation matter. All right. At some point in the last few months, Irondale came across the bridge that's on Highway 78, that's to the east of Grand River, and annexed a piece of property. Okay? And they annexed the property on this side of the bridge, up to TNT Fireworks, up to Grand River. The Census Bureau sent us a letter and asked us about that. We had known about it, we're looking into it. And wanted to know how that was, because they had that down as part of Leeds. Okay? And anyway, we got checking into it. Sure enough, almost every map, like 3 maps, official maps, and there was 1 map that didn't. But there was 3 maps that RPC and county and state and everybody worked off of, that showed the land was not contiguous with Irondale, and they jumped over Leeds in 2 places, 1 or 2 places. In the meantime, while we're investigating that, the Alabama legislature says they're gonna pass a approval of all annexations, whether they were done right or wrong, in the last, 2 years? No matter if they were done right or not, they're gonna pass the thing to approve all annexations that are on the books. The governor is sitting on his desk to be signed right now. So we preliminarily filed fee Friday morning to preserve our rights to this suit. Now, it just depends on whether y'all want to go forward with it or not, but we had to get it in the courts before he signs it. And it's what's in front of you. I don't think that they should have crossed the bridge. I don't think you should have took land in between our land, really. You know, and it's within, it's visible from Grand River. So.
And it doesn't touch Leeds it doesn't touch Irondale anywhere.
No.
But it's not contiguous to Irondale, but is it Leeds property or is it county property?
It's unincorporated, depending on what map you look at.
Depends on which map you
On,
did.
on one map that they've got downtown, shows it's Leeds. And on another map they got down there, it showed it's unincorporated. I think it's probably unincorporated, okay, but I haven't studied it, and I'm not the map guy and all, but it could be Leeds now.
It's not contentious to the city there. They're working and all about doing it.
Well, yeah, that's the debate, but I think that, people, I'm not having anything against any other cities, but this is Leeds, and I think that people have whittled away at our boundaries for quite a few years now. And I mean, we just got to, now that we're starting to have some commercial growth and things like that, we need to just say, look, we gotta stop. And, so all we're out right now is the, filing fee and everything, and so it's up to y'all
So we need to make a motion whether or not to go forward
to
with
go
this
forward with it. That's right.
and fight now.
That's right.
Or just to ratify the filing of this.
Right, ratify the filing and to approve the,
And when we're reaching out to, I know, at least compare notes with them and figure out, because they do have a map that shows it differently, so we can get the best information that has a happened. So we're waiting.
it's done on very short notice, though, we waited it's gonna get signed.
Typically, that's been considered either Leeds or unincorporated Jefferson County.
Absolutely, but
Because
there's
those
a lot of
people
jockeying going on
those
there
people
right
have gone to
now,
Leeds
all over
schools.
for land.
I know, but they've been going to Leeds schools and for years.
Correct, and and Irondale is kind of like a, I don't want to say they're dying city, but they're losing a lot of revenues. And, if you take the Grand River, you can come out here and get a foothold on somebody, come in the backside of it, you can stretch all the way to County 10 over there. So I think we need to protect what we got invested, it's gonna cost us millions of dollars to take care of it,
All right,
I make that motion to ratify the complaint or pursue it, however you word that.
and to ratify the filing of it so far. Okay.
I'll second that.
Any other discussion? All those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say no. Okay, let's see what we at now. Have we discussed this? You and anybody? And what we doing on this?
We were going to move to allow our firm to represent city council members individually, assuming they are served with summons.
Okay, all right, here's the deal on this. We can't, go into a lot of detail, but we expect in the next week, sometime next week, to be served with a, lawsuit, okay? I think y'all are all aware of it. Everybody, okay? And, this lawsuit names us, as a city, and it's named as individual. All right? Under right now, John Walker represents us as a city. Okay? Their duty is to the city as a whole, the body of the city, and what's best for the city, as long as they're our terms. Now, under the individual, particulars, we can vote for them to represent us in the same capacity as when they're representing the city. Which would clear up a lot of, hold down a lot of expense. Because if you're being deposed or something like that for the city, then you're being deposed individually too, so you don't have to pay twice. And, so, there's been some, and nobody on the council said it, is what I'm talking about, but there's been some talk from the person who's gonna file So that kind of puts us in a bind on how we do that. I don't know if that's true or not true, but what we need to vote on is if we want them to represent us individually in the same capacity they represent the city, as long as you're not, as long as nobody's adverse to the city's defense, which would mean that if that's true, then that person couldn't be represented by them, or those people, or 3, 4, how many, couldn't be represented by them, because they would be representing themselves against themselves. I mean, they would be defending us against themselves. I mean, any deposition they could sit across the table from each other. You'd have to have a side. Or, if anybody wants to have their own attorney, for whatever reason. So what the motion would probably have to be at this point, to be prepared for that, would be that we would vote to approve Jones Walker to approve to represent anybody from the city who wants representation in defense of this city as a member of the city and the body of the city. Okay, y'all understand that? It's kind of cryptic. Y'all understand?
It's about 3 minutes till 7.
Oh, thanks. I appreciate it. Y'all, Ms. Davis.
I got a quick question. All right, who's gonna pay for this representation? If, my lawyer decides to defend me, who's gonna pay for it?
Well, we'd have to vote on that. It would depend on what.
Again, you know how I feel about politics, and I'm not so bad about it. Suppose I want to defend myself, but I ain't done that.
Well, I understand that. I ain't done nothing
You
either.
can do that, you can appear pro se.
Huh?
You can appear pro se.
Sorry. It's just how we vote, so we won't, I hate to go right there. But I appreciate you telling me. I mean, you gonna step over? I mean, you gonna come over here and take the chair?
I will.
Y'all gonna vote to excuse me?
Can we vote first on this matter, since we got it up?
Well, we, it's,
We're discussing it now.
We discussed it anyhow.
Okay. All right, I'm probably sure I'm one at a point on this thing. We've discussed it. She gave me some information in life that I did not know anything about. That she was told, or had an email to. I'm very agitated because that was told to you. You know, and like I've said, I get 200 emails a day from people, a person. You know, I've been in law enforcement for 35 years. I know what courts are about, discipline, and all that stuff, and interrogatories and everything. You know, and I told, the only thing that was told and said on that matter was, I will tell the truth. When a judge swears me in, I will tell the truth in the court of law. I'm not gonna purge myself for the city of Leeds. I'm not gonna purge myself for whoever. And you know, and I guess that I probably need to go find me an attorney because there's some, maybe, not ill feelings, because I don't think we have any ill feelings. I think there's a little miscommunication on what's been told to you and other people, you know. So I'm not looking for the city to pay my attorney. I'll defend myself or have mine with me.
I always appreciate that. So I guess we need a motion and
I make a motion that we approve Jones Walker to represent anyone, from the city, along with the city, in this proposed suit.
I'll second.
Mr. Kyle second. Stovall actually works for us in this matter, and he's gonna come testify for the city. Really, all you're paying them for is if we get it.
That's
That's all
We
you're
would
doing.
I said anyone from the city.
She said
I
anyone.
just wanted to make sure that included.
Okay.
Anyone who works for the city in any capacity that has been served with this complaint.
Okay, all right, yes, ma'am. And we got a second from Mr. Kyle. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed say no. All right. I'll go ahead and do the last one. We'll knock it out. He's starting to call in there for me.
Okay.
All right, Mr. Kyle.
Oh, yeah, we got a, school board member that needs to be appointed, and again, I would like to, let me say this, I've talked to the principals, I've talked to the superintendent, I've talked to every principal but the, elementary. The current member that's up for nomination is Kathy Dutton. The principal I talked to said she's, and the superintendent says she's very beneficial to them. She's always raised at the school, programs, ambassador for the schools, goes to state board meetings for it, and that, that she's an asset to the, school board. Now, on the other hand, I've had a lot of comments from different people around this town that don't like Kathy. Well, those people, the same people that wanted to elect the school board, we took office 2.5 years ago, and after they got what they wanted, I don't see them around here begging for us to elect the school board anymore. I would like to nominate Kathy Dutton to remain in her seat on the school board.
I second.
All right, any discussion? Just stand right there. Any discussion? All right, start from the right, Mr. Washington. Yes, he does. Mr. Barty?
Yes.
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 All right, listen, there's a whole bunch of people here from, Leeds and football. I'll come back. Can I make a motion, excuse me?
I move that we excuse the mayor to go conduct city business.
Second.
All in favor?
Thanks.
And the clerk is paid.
Yep. $3 an hour.
Yeah.
Okay, that's approved.
So I guess we're down to
Council.
comment.
Council comments.
Yeah. Comment from the public?
Council comments first.
Yeah. You got some comment?
No, I was just saying anybody.
Yeah,
John
okay.
does.
Council comment.
This past weekend, we all experienced, I guess Wednesday experienced a lot of heartache, a lot of people lost their homes out here, a lot of people couldn't afford it. I'd just like to make this public statement, and thanks to Gene Martin, Ron Westmoreland, Bird, I think it's Leslie, and some church people, we went out through the heights, Russell Heights, and cut about 9 or 10 trees off people's houses. City Grove Baptist Church came up and they had a lot of people I saw from my district, Charlotte's district, and Kellis district. And they took in a lot from Moody came over too. I'm glad to see that we're working together a lot on stuff like this. And I'm gonna say this, my daughter, bless her heart, I thought she never would do anything. She got a bunch of food brought up here from Florida, and I was really proud of her. All these people, we ended up in the day sitting under a magnolia tree, drinking a Coke, and with 4 or 5 blacks, 4 or 5 whites. And that's the way it should be. I've made my I wind up, I'm fixing to be 50, 60 years old, I want to leave a footprint bigger than that made on this earth. And I think we all have the things, and this has brought a lot of people together, and I hope it brings the city together a lot more.
I just want to thank, again, all the volunteers and all the city workers for everything they did this weekend, this past week, and through the weekend, and they continuously doing that. I know a lot of the churches are still taking up trying to do relief kits. I think it's Thursday at 3 o'clock, isn't it, Ms. Cole? They're going to be at our church still taking up stuff.
Yeah.
They're asking for toothbrushes, soap, bars of soap, toothpaste, please individual toothbrushes, not the big packs, washcloths, hand towels, Band-Aids, things like that. They're doing little individual kits that they're going to try to take, I think, to Pratt City. And then some is going to Pell City too, to be dispersed from a relief center up there. So there's still lots of work to be done, and there's still a lot of people in need. So just because you drive around and you got your power back and the trees are being cut up, trust me, there are people in Coleman, Tuscaloosa, Pleasant Grove, some of the St. Clair County area that are still in dire need of assistance. So just because it's looking good around here, let's not forget all the other people who need help.
I'd just like to thank the Leeds Welfare for being on cue enough to take their power was out, and so they had this frozen food that they were going to lose, and they took it to Cedar Grove so they could feed it to the people. So that makes them now down very low on anything they can give out. So let's not forget them and restocking their shelves and restocking their freezers too, so that they can continue to service our residents who are in need.
I'm not too sure about how much we got going on out here and anything. Do you have numbers for FEMA and all that stuff that people can contact? Federal
Yes.
assistance and stuff?
Now, here it's been posted at the city hall on the door.
It is.
Oh, yes. We'll get that over, so it's posted over here as well.
Can we put something, you know, I know the Leeds News comes out Thursday, I guess, or does it?
It's already been on the website.
Has it?
Yeah, we posted, I think, Friday afternoon.
Can you put it on the Leeds Herald and all that, get it out? Because we need.
I think he's got it.
We've got the thing on
Got it, they've got it.
Okay.
And I'd like to thank all of these news right now, Leeds Herald, they came out and did such a great job. Our police and fire for the responder time that they did. Hey, I just can't say enough about the whole community, everyone across the Leeds.
I want to thank the fire department. My mother had an episode last Tuesday night, and my mother's not an easy person to deal with, and the paramedics were fabulous. You tell her, go ahead. Her blood pressure was 244/96, and she was convinced she didn't need to go to the hospital. The paramedics were very kind and very persuasive, and convinced her not only to go, but to let the ambulance take her. So I'm very grateful to our paramedics that came that night. They were fabulous.
I was gonna say one thing too. I don't know if all you know, but Ken, his house was a total loss. And I just respect him for being here and being out on the streets, helping everybody when he had so much to deal with in his personal life. I just want to tell you, appreciate you, Ken.
Now, comments from the general public and Leeds Sports.
As you know, my name is Michael Williams. I represent Leeds Youth Football, president of Leeds Youth Football. And basically, I'm here tonight to ask for your help. We have issues with our restrooms up there at the youth field. I'm not exactly sure how old they are, but people tell me that they played up there when they're my age and they were kids, so at least 20, 30 years ago. everything in our restrooms up there is not up to code by any means. It's residential, it's not commercial grade. On any given Saturday, we have anywhere between 800 and 1,000 people that come up there when we're hosting a large park. And anything the city can do to help us out with that, if we could get some new restrooms built or something like that, it'd be greatly appreciated.
I'll second that.
Do you have any idea how much upgrades that you're looking at? I mean, how much it would cost?
As much as the city would be willing to do.
At one time, Johnny, we saw around 30 to 40,000 if we built new restrooms on the existing.
Would the
I thought
handicap
it was
accessible?
65, I thought it was 65,000.
Yeah, it's gonna be more
It
close.
was right around 60.
I think the 65 had some expanding the concession stand as well, maybe.
I don't think so.
No, we
I
were
think-
talking about,
It's right around 60.
Right.
That's the
like
take
I
the whole.
said, it's a huge issue, and I know the city's helped us in the past, and that is greatly appreciated also. But our park is growing, and we're expanding, and we're doing as much as we can. But like I said, there's only so much that we can do as a nonprofit youth sports,
And they're not handicap accessible.
not by no means.
For some reason, I thought the earliest numbers we got were, at 60, 65, and I thought we got another number around 50.
But,
You know, that would be a thing that probably Eric would have to be here to say something about, because, you know, we've got money stretched out of the soccer, that was going for soccer back towards the baseball to finish it up. And, you know, I think we're on borrowed living on something out there. The money was,
The loan that we took out, our
Oh.
line of credit.
don't know how much would be left in there to even try to do anything, you know. And I don't see that this council would tell you no right now, you know, probably something you can look into.
Well, I can tell you that if we are gonna do something, we need to move on it rather soon. You know, we do have this upcoming season coming on.
Well, you know,
And I understand
Go
everybody
slow.
recent things.
you know,
We found that out.
Yes.
uh,
But if we could beat through the red tape, it'd be appreciated.
why don't you get back on the agenda for next council meeting?
Absolutely.
And
Thank
get
you.
some information.
We can do that.
And I'll do some financial research and
Thank you.
Look at the
Thanks,
numbers.
Mike.
No problem. Thank you, Mike.
Thank you. Comments from the general public, anyone?
My name's Donna Stritch, and I own the property at 8413 Donovan Road. And the lot behind us is a big debris, a big eyesore, and we've been trying for at least 6 years to have that cleaned up. The lady who owns that lot refuses to sell and refuses to clean it. I recently received a bill, a letter from the city requesting that I clean it up. The lot does not belong to me. I did correct that with the city. But we have a nice home there, it's valued, it's a very nice house, it's a blue house that's on Highway 25, valued, it's a decent price, we're trying to clean up that area. But we have been trying for 6 years, and the city inspector's aware of this, and he even, I spoke to him tonight concerning it, and he assures me that they're working on it, but this has been 6 years already, so we have to wait another 6 years for the residents to deal with this, or for us to have to look at this eyesore when we're trying to clean up our areas. This is on Pearl Street, and this needs resolved. It's been going on way too long.
Where did you get the letter from the city?
3 to 6 months. Mr. Hinckley, spoke to him on the phone.
Yeah.
And what made him aware that that lot did not belong to us. And he said that he would check into it, and to my knowledge, he has, and he is aware of this problem. But we
Because
need
the
this
other owner
resolved.
been notified.
The other owner was where we condemned the trailer 2 years ago, and we had supposedly the city tried to knock down a shed, and we had to get a letter from her to get permission to get on the property, clean up the shed, and that's the problem.
Anyone else?
There's some pipe that run through my yard that have mismatched. The water runs over the road. be fixed because my neighbor won't sign the right away. I don't know what to do, I've lost my insurance. It's very dangerous. It's not just one hole, it's holes everywhere. And you don't even know where to step, you might just keep going. And I've got grandchildren, I've got a 5-year-old and other grandchildren. We took down the fence a year ago because it was approved to fix. Well, I have no fence up, anybody can just walk right off the road. The road itself has caved in twice.
That's because
It's starting on the other side of the road and running,
Right, under the
washing
road.
out through the first part of the pipe and dropping down there.
It's my understanding though, Emily, that we have no legal recourse against a neighbor that will not give the right of way, correct?
I do not know, I have to
Well,
look
that's
at that.
condemning, right?
Yeah, have we been trying, I mean, have you been aware that we've been
Yeah,
trying?
They've
we've
tried,
we've
Kevin's talked
tried
about it.
numerous times to get him to
To get
sign.
the right of way,
Can
so
we-
that, let me look at it and see, and let's check and see where we are.
Frank's,
We gotta get Frank back up here and see if
Frank has
we
been in the
If we
middle of
do it
this.
without the
if we
right-
can't get it, do it some other way.
Yeah, that's what we
You
need to
know,
look
get
at.
around this guy, or either that or go in there. Does that make a problem? We can condemn his land and
We can
use
condemn
it
it,
that
that's the only
way.
thing I would know to do.
Then I guess we can get him out.
What is your address?
It's 8840 David.
Right, the road has recently been resurfaced.
Yeah, it'll eventually cave in because pipe underneath, everything just washed. It's very dangerous, very dangerous.
Where does he live in relation to his?
Right next door, when you turn, the road wise and when you go on Zayden,
Yeah.
he's got those trailers right there on the hill. And you go down that first little valley, my house is on the left, right
Yeah.
first house.
So which is, he's got the trailer
He's got the trailers,
before you get to your house?
right.
Okay.
And he came down and talked to my son and was saying, we can turn him in for some violations. We can't turn him in for anything. He was real upset.
we definitely can look into that.
I will.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank y'all.
Anyone else?
In response to Mr. Hinckley's remark about, the property behind 8413, yes, we did deny them the right to cross our property with big trucks, but Pearl Street is an open street that separates our properties. Trucks can go in and out on that street. So they do have a way to get trucks in and out. That Pearl Street is open.
No, he's talking about the property owner has to, not you.
Oh, I thought you.
No. The lady that owns the property has to give us permission to go in there and get the debris off her property.
Okay, then.
That's what we have to have. He wasn't talking about you giving
I
us
just want to
permission.
make sure that everybody knows there is a way to get in and out of that property. And our
He meant the
question is-
property that, not your property, but the property that's got the debris on it. That's what he was talking about.
Is there anything the city can do to help her, encourage her to get rid of that debris?
We've got the letter of.
Yes.
We have a
Yes,
letter
ma'am.
now.
Do we have, is it a situation where we have to wait another 6 years?
Well, wait, they're talking over here.
I'm sorry.
We got the letter. Yeah. That was like a week before the storm hit, now we've got the storm, right, so we'll have to work through it.
So how long does it take, by the time they get the letter, on a normal situation, that you can start doing things over there?
So we're trying to work it in within a couple of weeks. It's just scheduling it in, but
We
I mean,
can't
I'm
take, we
willing
can't
to-
take credit for the first 4 years, we wasn't here.
I drive 300 miles to come here. I don't mind coming back, but for something to be postponed after driving 300 miles here, 300 miles home,
You don't have to do anything. We just need to do it. The city needs to do it.
And Ricky Conley, you just,
and I would appreciate the city's quick response on that, as well as our neighbors here.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
is there anyone else?
Yeah, we got a problem on Highway 25.
Name and address, please.
I don't know, it's just on, it's right
No.
across.
No, your name and address for the minutes.
It's on Highway 25, right
No.
across the street from
Hold up.
Oak Street.
We need your name and
My
address.
name is Johnny Thomas, and I don't know the address over there, but I I know
No,
where my
we
stuff,
need your address.
mine, I give you my mama's address, it's where her address is 8401 Stomach Road. It is right behind her house. It's a bunch of, they cut it one time. Leeds cut it one time, fall. And Leeds agreed on to cut that, keep that cut, that make that creek, keep all that creek and everything cleaned out. They agreed on this, where they could bring the pipes in there, so they brought two big old pipes in there. And, you know, put two big old pipes in them, and Leeds did agree on this, for a pipe runner, one pipe, Mr. Parker, when he was in office, they all agreed on this. And ain't nobody went out there since, what's his name, y'all put him up there at the graveyard. Anyway, they finished very much there. And, ever since, there ain't nothing been done over there, and that needs to be cleaned back up again, needs to be cut and cleaned up over there.
You know what you're talking about, Rick?
Right across the street from Motor Street, but you know what I'm talking about.
Okay, we're gonna look into that.
I appreciate
I'll make
it.
sure.
I appreciate it.
All right. Thank you.
Uh-huh.
Anyone else? Okay.
That's it.
Motion to adjourn.
So moved. So moved.
Thank you, Bob. Oh, and everyone, I got a note that says, need an emergency call, FEMA, if you have any kind of emergency.